It's Monday, June 9th, 2025. Breaking news, tonight. In a move that shocked exactly no one in crypto, the president of Paraguay may have just rug-pulled the entire country. Or at least that's how it looked, until it turned out his X account got hacked. A post from Santiago Peña's verified profile suddenly declared Bitcoin legal tender, claimed the government bought $5 million in BTC, and offered citizens the chance to get in on government bonds by sending crypto to a wallet address that looked like it was whipped up during a Red Bull-fueled Discord call. People thought the president went full Nayib Bukele, but instead of laser eyes, he was asking for deposits, like your cousin with a new NFT project. To make it worse, the hacker hid replies from Paraguay's real government account, which was flailing in the background shouting "Estafa" while being algorithmically silenced. It was like watching a car crash while someone tapes over the warning signs in real time. Bitcoin, meanwhile, spiked to 109K before falling back to 108.4K. Because of course it did. We live in a world where a fake post from a compromised president moves markets harder than an actual G7 summit. And the scam wallet? It's holding $4.67, which might mean the rug didn't pull hard enough, or that the hacker's just warming up for Act 2. Was it a cyber attack? A prank? Or did the president just soft launch his exit strategy? I'm Max Voltz, and this is Crypto Wars. Because when your head of state drops a rug pull before breakfast, maybe it's time to stop following politicians and start following block explorers. Meanwhile, Nasdaq just did something the SEC still hasn't figured out. Embraced crypto beyond Bitcoin and Ethereum. The Nasdaq Crypto Index is expanding, and this time, it's not just a BTC ETH echo chamber. The exchange is adding XRP, Solana, Cardano, and Stellar Lumens to its official benchmark list. That brings the total to 9 digital assets tracked by Nasdaq. 9 more than your average senator can name, without a lobbyist whispering in their ear. Now, before you throw your bags in the air, here's the fine print. The Hashdex Nasdaq Crypto Index ETF still only holds BTC and ETF for now, thanks to regulatory shackles so outdated they make fax machines look cutting edge. But Nasdaq's already filed to expand the ETF's holdings, and the SEC has until November 2nd to either approve it or do that thing where they stare at the wall and pretend it's complicated. But the inclusion news still had ripple effects. Literally, XRP saw a speculative surge, with open interest hitting 4.1 billion, its highest in June. Price-wise, it bounced from $2.10 to $2.30 and is flirting with $2.40 like it just got a swipe right from BlackRock. Meanwhile, Ripple just inked a partnership in Japan to support the digital asset ecosystem, proving that XRP might finally be going from legal piñata to legitimate player. If $2.30 holds as support, we're looking at a possible jump to $2.50. But if the bears show up, $2 could be back on the menu. Bottom line, Nasdaq's warming up to altcoins, the SEC still stuck in 2018, and XRP is back in the headlines for something other than lawsuits. In other news, Charles Hoskinson just pulled a DeFi rabbit out of a Bitcoin hat, and for once, it wasn't just a philosophical TED Talk wrapped in a white paper. The Cardano founder has officially launched the Cardano protocol, the first ever way to use real Bitcoin in DeFi on Cardano, without handing your coins over to a shady custodian with a Cayman Islands address and a cartoon frog avatar. This ain't wrapped Bitcoin. This is Bitcoin UTXOs getting busy in lending pools, staking farms, and DEXs like MinSwap and SundaySwap, all made possible through wrapped UTXO tech, MuSig2 multisig, and off-chain verification via BitVMX, which sounds like a failed startup, but is apparently the magic sauce here. Here's how it works. You lock in your BTC, mint a wrapped UTXO, and suddenly your dusty sats are out earning yield on Cardano. You can even use ordinals as collateral now, because nothing says financial evolution like JPEGs of ducks underwriting loans. Cardinal's not just a Bitcoin detour. It's interoperable with Ethereum, Solana, and Avalanche. And yes, it still needs zero-knowledge proofs and deeper liquidity to truly pop off. But this is a giant leap toward turning Bitcoin into more than just digital gold. It's now programmable ammo in the DeFi war zone. So next time someone says Bitcoin doesn't do DeFi, just point them to Charles and his cardinal bag of tricks. And now to the Bitcoin Civil War of the Week, brought to you by OP Return, Spicy Devs, and the eternal question: is Bitcoin just money or a freedom machine? 31 Bitcoin Core developers just dropped a joint statement that basically says, "We're not the police. Use Bitcoin however you want, even if it's weird." This all stems from the ongoing OP return drama, that little opcode that lets you embed non-financial data into Bitcoin blocks. You know, like NFT inscriptions, Pepe memes, and probably a few love letters to Satoshi. The devs made it clear. They're not endorsing spam, but they're also not here to stop it. Quote, "Bitcoin is defined by its users, not its developers. Translation, run whatever code you want. Don't like inscriptions? Fork off. But not everyone's buying it." Jan 3's Samson Mao blasted the statement, calling it disingenuous and accusing devs of slowly nerfing Bitcoin into a spam bucket. Meanwhile, Luke-UR called it straight up harmful, warning that optimizing for spam relay is defeatism. On the other side, Jameson Lopp fired back, saying this is exactly what decentralization looks like. Developers laying out their thinking and letting node runners make the call. He basically told critics, "You whined when there was no message. Now you're whining because there is one." The devs say their goal is simple: help miners spot legit transactions, predict what's likely to be mined, and avoid censorship creep. But for some Bitcoiners, that smells like surrender to the data hoarders. The schism reveals a bigger identity crisis. Is Bitcoin a lean, mean monetary machine, or an uncensorable everything chain? The devs picked the latter. Some OGs are ready to riot. And somewhere out there, Vitalik is watching with popcorn. And finally, tonight, South Korea is officially going stablecoin pilled. Newly elected President Lee Jae-myung isn't wasting any time. Less than a month into the job, and he's already delivering on his promise to turn South Korea into the crypto capital of Asia, starting with stablecoins. Under the freshly proposed Digital Asset Basic Act, South Korean companies will now be allowed to issue their own stablecoins, as long as they have at least 500 million won in equity and can back it up with legit refund reserves. That's about $367,000 USD for anyone keeping score at home with their Tether calculator. The assets must also get the green light from the Financial Services Commission, which probably means at least one photo op and 3 months of paperwork. Still, this is a massive shift from the ghost of Terra USD, the infamous algorithmic stablecoin that nuked billions and was proudly made in Korea. Now, with 18 million crypto users, that's nearly a third of the population, South Korea is showing it's ready to play offense. In Q1 alone, 42 billion USD worth of stablecoins changed hands in the country, with most of it happening on just 5 exchanges. But not everyone's on board the stablecoin rocket. Bank of Korea chief Ri Chang-yong is throwing shade, warning that stablecoins from non-bank issuers might interfere with monetary policy. Translation, please don't mess up our fiat monopoly. Too late, Ri. The people are voting with their wallets, and their wallets want USDT, not your central bank sandbox. South Korea setting the stage for round 2 of the stablecoin wars. Let's hope this time they don't accidentally build another Duquan. That's it for tonight's transmission. I'm Max Voltz, and this is Crypto Wars. And remember, folks, every click is gunpowder, and every share is artillery. So detonate that like button and help us keep this signal strong, ad-free, and fully loaded with digital truth. Good night. Stay sovereign and stay spicy.